Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Strong Girl Shuffle podcast.
Strong girl shuffle.
She's doing great every time. We always have a little song by Miss Megan.
You're welcome, audience.
We have a very exciting guest, our first guest.
I'm very honored.
You should be. This is my roommate, Allison. You've heard me talk a lot about her. All good things. Don't worry. Don't worry. Maybe. You have to watch and find out.
You're gonna have to check the receipts now.
Yeah, you're going to have to check those receipts.
So just for clarification, we have an Allie, then we have an Allison.
Don't get it mixed up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For those who are watching visually, you can definitely see that there's two different respective ladies. One that is blonde, the other one brunette.
And our redhead in the center.
Yeah, you got
Rose between two thorns. Woo!
Ah,
We planned that. We totally planned that.
That's gonna be the name of the episode now.
Yeah. The Rose between two Allisons.
Oh,
That should be the name. Oh, titles coming in hot. So we have a very special guest today, Allison. So I'm going to just do a quick little introduction just to get her to know her a little bit. We're going to go into more detail once the interview gets started in a little bit. All right. So our lovely roommate, Allison, is here. She is born and raised here in PEI. She is the local island. We look at all the, almost had all the Maritimers, but someone's not a Maritimer.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
well, I guess I'm the thorn
Get the
in
boot.
between two roses.
So we have Allison, who was born here on Prince Edward Island. She is an osteopath working at Reactive in Stratford. She went to university at Santa Fe, and she has her ring, the X ring, whoop whoop, world recognized. I did not realize,
Third most recognized.
third most. I knew it was up there.
Yep, after Super Bowl and the Popes.
Really? Wow. It's very iconic, so I knew I had to mention it.
Yeah.
She's also a very active runner, active lifestyle, biking. She biked from our house to Stratford, which was 23 kilometers?
23 kilometers.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Wouldn't even dream of doing it, but she's done it. And of course, the one that connects us all, a cat mom to Danny and Calvin.
Mhm.
The one and the only.
Yeah.
The pride and joys.
The pride and joys.
The boys.
Well, the boys. We can't say pride and joys because my Lilo lives here too.
I think we can, though.
I'm offended. Wow.
All right, we're starting this podcast off strong. So, hello, Allison. Welcome to our podcast.
I'm very honored. Very excited to be here.
We are very excited to have you. And as you know, typically how we run this shindig is we do a little recap on our weekly goals, and then we dive into some tarot. So, all right. So, because I kind of roll this in here, I'll start off first. So typically my weekly goals is water intake, step count, and writing, I do believe.
Yep.
So far, I have not been doing a whole lot of walking. And let me tell you, the legs are feeling it. These last 3 days, it's been raining, and the back of my knees have been swollen, which I forgot that that's what happens when it rains. So I have arthritis in my knees. And for the longest time, when I'm running and I'm walking, I kind of work on that cartilage and it starts to lubricate itself. But I stayed stagnant, and then the rain came and I felt a lot of difficulty walking, to say the least. So the steps were a little bit of a bummer. So we're going to try to work harder next week to do that.
But with your steps, did you still, how many, because I know your goal was to get 10,000 at least 3 times a week. Do you still think you got that even with the rain?
No, babe.
No. That's shocking, because usually you downplay how much you actually walk.
Yeah.
Usually you're like, oh, I only did 3 times of 10,000 steps a day. But all the other ones were 7,000. So I just wanted to make sure that you're recognizing what you did do.
Oh no, I appreciate that. I love the little self-love there, but unfortunately it was mostly office work this week. Fair enough. I think the most that I would get in a day is 1,000 at most. And then my min, I tried to get 500, which is not what I typically get, but we got to take it in strides.
That's right.
One thing that I will say I've been improving on, I actually got in touch with a publisher.
Ooh, which one?
It's Penguin.
Ooh,
Oh, that's a good one.
It's super crazy. I was talking to somebody who had connections, and
network.
They hooked me up. So I sent out the email, and I'm waiting to hear the response back. And then there's also the idea of me doing book reviews. So I got in connections with another community. They are an Indigenous publisher, and they are looking for Indigenous women to review their books.
And I know I don't know if this is something we had talked about on the podcast, but there was a little talk of ghostwriting. Is that, well, I don't know if we talked about that yet, but how's that working out?
A ghost doesn't write and tell.
Who knows? Who knows? Oh, I love it. That sounds like you had a very good week. Very exciting stuff.
Yeah, it was a really busy, hectic week, but you know what? As much as I hate to say that I did a lot this week, I still didn't feel productive because I didn't have everything that I wanted on my list of things to do, but I still did a lot of things. So I'm not beating myself up. I'm just a little bit like retweaking my schedule here.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of my accomplishments.
It's also switching, like you're going into the summer months, you're getting into those busier times. So it's a good time to do kind of a reset, readjust, see what's actually going to work in your day-to-day life now that your other job is finished up. So there's a lot going on, to be honest. I know. There were some tears today for me as well.
Man.
The babies.
So how about you, Allie? What's a win for this week?
My wins? Well, actually, it's kind of a win for both of us. So Allison and I have been going to the gym together on Tuesdays and Thursdays for the last little bit. How long have we been doing that?
For a few months now,
It's
at least. Yeah.
And so it's one of the things that we really great for accountability is to be going to the gym. We did miss Tuesday because it was Stanley Cup. We were preoccupied. But up until the Tuesday, I think that was the only one we missed. We've been doing really well with going. So I really thank Allison for the accountability, because there's many times I don't want to go, or once we were painting and didn't want to leave, I got yelled at, which I really appreciate. So my gym workouts have been going pretty good, except for just missing the one on Tuesday. I did go to strongman, but I still miss my morning workout. Water's been good. And that's really all mine I've been focusing on right now. And so I know Allison has some big goals as well. So what are some things that you've done that you're proud of this week, or like this week and last week, and what's something you would like to work on for next week?
Well, as it might have been mentioned, I'm really into cycling right now. Definitely more like endurance-based stuff, like running, cycling. But right now I'm really into cycling. I was going to go for a 36K bike ride, but the PEI weather has not been working with us. It's been downpouring rain. So instead, I'm actually going to do a spin class tomorrow night. I'm booked in. Like it's locked in. I have to go at this point. Yeah, and they go like a lot harder than I would like on one of my rides. You know, it's because I'm going far distances. I typically go like an even pace to go distance. So when you're in a cycle class, it is kind of more hard paced. So that'll still be a good challenge. Not 36K, but it's going to be a really good challenge, and it'll at least keep me on pace, because by the fall I want to be able to bike the PEI tip to tip on the Confed Trail.
Oh, nice.
So I got to be able to do at least 100 kilometers in a day.
That's ridiculous. I'm so excited.
Yeah,
I think you'll be able to do it, especially like with your history, which we'll get into a little bit with your running and your endurance. You're able to get into that mindset that I know I can't do. The dreading of the cardio and the long distance, it seems daunting. So I feel like you have a really good mindset when it comes to the endurance and being able to push yourself to that. So I really think you'll be able to do it.
Yeah, I think so. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. I haven't been to a cycling class since I've been at Good Life.
Yeah.
Is it the same thing where it's like alternating levels to like make you get that perception in your joints as like you're going uphill or you're going downhill?
Yeah, they tell you to like up the weights. But yeah, I think I go to Spinco is what I do, and they kind of do things to the beat of the music and they let you set your resistance. So it's not so much like, oh, we're going up a hill, so you have to increase the resistance. Like you just kind of
you go at your own pace.
You go at your own pace, and you pick one that's going to be challenging for you, but that you can do, you know? And then it's just a lot of fun music and headbanging and like, it's
fun.
My
gosh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, and one thing I would like something that I want to do better, and I'm holding you accountable to as well, are ice baths.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we had been doing the ice baths. We did really good for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We went off a little bit.
Well, It got really hot is the problem. And it's really hard with the cold bath that we have to keep it cold. Like you have to have bags upon bags of ice. So I think what we need to do is find a solution to have ice on hand at all times. And then I would have no problem. But half the time it's just it's not, we can't get it cold.
It can't. It's not. It's a warm bath.
So we got to put
it's not the same.
Yeah.
My little ice machine just can't keep up.
No,
it's doing the Lord's work, but not that well.
Yeah.
Oh my! I gotta see that ice bath because I haven't been here since you painted or got the ice bath in your backyard. So I gotta check that out. Is it I keep thinking I keep getting that image in my brain that it kind of looks like a horse trough. You know what I mean? Like it looks like a water.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's
but
kind of that way. It's softer and it's higher because the troughs are lower.
Yeah.
Like when we both sit into it, like our back up to our shoulders, like up to here.
Okay.
So it's deeper, but it's not super long. Like we can't stretch our legs out, but like we can fit comfortably in it where we can get our shoulders in.
Okay.
If we got really ambitious, we probably could get our heads in, but.
Yeah, I haven't done that yet.
No.
I'll have to bring ice with me next time I come in when
the
weather's nicer.
Yeah.
Let's shuffle in and get some tarot going.
Yes. The tarot we're going to be using today, it's called a Real Talk. This is actually a tarot that an old roommate of mine got, and I guess it didn't really speak to her. She left it behind. I kind of inherited it into my little collection that I have. To me, these cards don't speak to me. I know that, like, Allison, I've read these for you. This was one of the first tarot decks I ever used when reading it, giving you a tarot reading, and I found out some interesting things. It was very spot on.
Kind of was, yeah. It was kind of creepy, actually.
Yeah, there were some definitely interesting things that I did not know about Allison that I got through the tarot, so that was kind of fun. And so we're going to be shuffling in and reading about these. So normally we do 2 cards, but today, because it's a little bit of a longer episode and we have a special guest, we're going to just do 1 card now, and then we're going to look at the bottom of the deck at the end. All right. So Megan's going to do some shuffling. And so, Allison, I'm going to get you to kind of tell me what your thoughts are when I first brought tarot out while we're shuffling in.
Yeah.
I thought they were pretty cool. I'd seen tarot before, so it wasn't like my first experience with them, but I thought they were pretty cool, and I was interested to see like what your style was for like reading the cards, because obviously everyone's going to be a little different and how they interpret it and all that. So, but yeah, I kind of liked what you did, and then it was really cool because we were still getting to know each other, and then you're doing this reading for me, so you knew it was kind of like a blind read in a sense, and you couldn't really be biased in your read, and it ended up being very spot on. Because
I remember the one thing that I remember about the first one, it was talking about like an Instagram and talking about like maybe putting yourself out there on Instagram, and to come to find out that you had done that many times in during the pandemic. You had an Instagram page, which is what's your Instagram videos?
What the tag is?
Yeah, what's your Instagram tag?
Allison.pei osteopath. Allison.
Yes, we spell our names differently.
I spell it correctly.
That's up for debate. We can't start that now. We'll fight.
I don't think we have enough
friendly fight.
Of course.
We don't have enough light for that, folks.
All right. So we had a card pop out while Miss Megan was shuffling.
Would you like to read?
Sure.
So Allison's going to describe what the card looks like, and then she's going to tell us what she thinks it means.
Well, we got like a blue tealish background, and there's a young lady sitting on a safe with 2 dogs kind of looking either at each other or potentially at the safe. So she's just sitting there. She's pretty chill. No one seems to be really angry, but it kind of is looking like maybe someone is really guarding some secrets in a safe and also using guard dogs to protect the safe. And so she's internalizing something or keeping it really hidden, like
close to the chest.
And close to the chest. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Haha, chest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Awesome.
This is the 4 of Pentacles, by the way. If for anyone who is watching us and is a tarot advocate, please put in the comments to tell us what your intuition on this card is. Allison gave a great description of it, so thank you very much. And I love the addition of the colors, so thank you for adding that vibrance into
love to talk about the colors.
I do. I'm so obsessed with colors. But yeah, thank you so much for all of the like wonderful description, and I genuinely want to see what everyone else has to say about this card. But before we go into what you guys think, let's see what we think. So Allison, you looked at this card. Do you want to, you gave the description, you feel for this card. You've already gotten the touch for it. Where did your eyes gravitate first?
The color, I think.
The color?
The background color.
It's one of your favorite colors.
That is a favorite color, yeah. That pretty much that shade of like, it's a bluish green. There's a bedroom in this house that's painted that color.
It's a beautiful bedroom.
The main shade for my Instagram is pretty much that shade. Like I have a main color palette that I go with, and that's the main color.
Is there any connection to this color in particular? Like why it's your favorite color? Is there any memory attached?
Yeah, the first time I got to renovate my own bedroom, it was like my first sense of like real independence as like a young teenager, because you know your parents always decorate things. So one of my Christmas gifts I asked was to be able to just renovate my room, and that was like the wackiest color I could find, because you know adults keep everything very beige, light colors, and I picked something like very vibrant and so I had that as my bedroom color for a long time. That was like my first sense of like independence.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
And now it's your like brand. That's awesome. Full circle moment.
Yeah.
I like that. So now you kind of gave like a little bit of an insight through that. You look at this card, you look at the color, you think back to the time when you had your room painted for the first time, that feeling of independence. So now looking at the rest of the card, is there anything that's kind of speaking towards you? Any message that it has to say? It's okay if you don't. It's okay.
I don't know if I could go any further into that on a podcast, but yes, it does. There's
she
a
did
lot
kind
of
of mention it earlier with being like talking when you were describing it, talking about being close to the chest. So she kind of answered that.
All right,
yeah.
We're keeping the answer close to the chest.
Well, yeah. Well, it's obviously a secret. There's a secret that may be revealed shortly in the future. We'll have to see.
No, I love it.
I wonder what secret.
I could definitely see this card expressing that, because there's two fairly large dogs and they're looking at this safe. It's closed, it looks locked, and this woman, she's sitting on top of it. She looks relaxed. She looks like she knows that nobody's going to get whatever is inside that safe, and she just has full faith in what is hidden. She knows that that's not going to be released. And I can definitely read that from there. But I also see there's a little bit of orange and a little bit of whites. So there is like a little bit of openness to it, but it's just not ready to be fully revealed yet. So I can definitely see that reading for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Like, and from what I know about the pentacles too, it's also like it's normally an image of someone holding onto a coin, talking about money, talking about getting new investments and protecting your investments. So this is definitely protecting your investments until it's ready to come out of the safe. All right, so what's the book tell us?
All right, so Four of Pentacles, protect your assets. The upright meaning is the need for stability and establishing a firm foundation. If you have suffered past hardships, the tough times are over, as now your work pays off. While this doesn't indicate a huge windfall, you will have enough money and acknowledgement to feel satisfied. This card also shows protection of assets and traditional values. You may consider moving to a new home or investing in a small business that will bring your future dividends. In work, you attain a position that is very secure. An additional meaning of this card is the miser, but this money has come from hard work, and you will value what you have achieved, and from now, want to keep it to yourself.
You are a very hard worker, so I definitely see that as like you put a lot into your clients, and you work a lot, and you're always go. So like I definitely see this as like your hard work has not gone unnoticed.
And how ironic is it, the fact that this color is the same color as your brand?
That's spooky.
This is why we love tarot.
Yeah.
Awesome. Perfect.
Well, thank you for sharing.
So we're going to have a little water break.
A little sippy before we dippy into the interview portion of today.
All right, now that we all have had a little water, hydration, we're terrible at drinking water, so I have to force us to do it. That's what the water breaks are all about. All right, so now we're going to get into the interview questions. So we're going to do it a little very casual. We're going to kind of ask one or two questions. We're going to get Allison's perspective, and maybe Megan and I have a little insight too once we get into the deeper dive stuff, talking about it kind of together. And see where the conversation goes. Just kind of flow. We're just hanging out as friends.
It's couch talk.
It's couch talk.
We getting comfy here.
All right. So my
Love it.
first question to you is about your career, actually. So you talked to me about how you were motivated to start your career in osteopath because you wanted to help others stay active. Can you tell us a little bit more about why you chose this career?
Well, in some sense it was that, but it also kind of found me in a sense as well. In that, like, I've always been active since I was young. And so that just kind of like led to the step of going into like kinesiology because that's very sports based. And then I was kind of thinking sport athletic therapy and kind of tried that out. It didn't really like suit me very well. And then I went and tried something else. So through a lot of trial and error and volunteer work in my early 20s, that's when I found osteopathy and got to shadow an osteopath. And I just felt that really fit. It just like felt right.
Yeah.
It just fit, right?
Just connected the pieces.
And so then I went to that training and here we are. So through a bit of trial and error and like, yeah, taking the time to find my niche.
Yeah,
you know?
Totally. Why do you think you stuck with it? What was it about osteopath, like with the clients, or was it more like the personalities and helping the clients, or more the active it that made you want to stick with it?
It was that it was an area in the physical therapy realm that needed to be filled. It was something that I felt was really missing, that can help so many people. Because like with my work, I do like 100% hands-on work, working with soft tissue joints. I can do like cranial, GI tract work, all those things. And when you blend all those together, you can really have some amazing results, especially for those people who maybe it wasn't like an acute injury, like a sprained ankle or I fell and broke my arm. That's not really what I treat. I treat chronic long-term problems where there's a lot of people who kind of fall through the cracks. And there's so many of my clients that come to see me and they're like, I've tried everything and nothing's worked, right?
The only person to help me was an osteopath.
And sometimes they're like, I don't even know what an osteopath is, but I'm here to try it just because I need to try things because nothing's worked so far. And it's probably the most satisfying thing in the world when I get those cases and then I'm able to give them relief or help them. So
100%.
Yeah.
No, awesome. No, I definitely can see that as someone who had chronic hip pain. I went to chiropractors, physio, and the only person I was able to get relief from was from an osteopath. So I can totally understand how it's such an underlooked, maybe an oversight in the physical medicine, would you call it?
Yeah, and it's just not as popular yet, right? It's just not as well known as the other thing. So, and not to say those other practitioners like don't or aren't effective. They definitely are. It's just there are some people that follow through the cracks, and I think this type of therapy can really help fill in those cracks.
100%, definitely.
Do you mind just filling in that gap for me and just giving a brief description on what an osteopath is and what their work kind of relies on? You tied a little bit of what you do on a regular basis, but just a general description for our viewers.
For sure. Well, like any physical therapy type, there is a lot of overlap between like physio, chiro, and osteopathy. You're going to see some similarities, but basically the thing that really sets osteopathy apart is that we really look at the body as a whole and work on little misalignments that may be in the body that are causing the discomfort. So if you come in for something like in the shoulder, yes, I'm going to treat the shoulder, obviously, but I'm also going to look at the whole picture to figure out, okay, why did this happen? Because I could do just work on the shoulder, get you some relief, but that's going to keep coming back if we don't find the source, right? So that's where I think osteopaths really excel. And like I said, it's all hands-on work. I really don't use any modalities except for my hands to really work on people, which is not super common in every other physical therapy type. And I treat chronic pain, persistent pain issues would be the different factor.
Thank you. Now, just out of like my own personal curiosity, I'm kind of wondering what your favorite part of your position, aspect of your job you enjoy doing the most.
It's definitely the problem solving, for sure. It's it's basically like I get to do puzzles all day. Unless I don't have any assessments that day and it's all returning clients. And then the puzzle solved and I just have to like take the steps, work the plan that I've made, right? Which definitely it has is enjoyable in itself. But I do love getting those clients. It's unfortunate that they're in the situation that they're in, But when I hear that someone's been to everything and they feel like they've been either dismissed or they feel like it's just not working, those are the people I really zero in on. And I even tell them, I was like, I'm going to do everything I can to figure this out, and I really do. But if I'm not the person that's going to be the solution, I'm going to be part of the solution in helping you figure out where to go from here. So, and that's why I like working in a big company like Reactive. We have pretty much every type of physical therapy under the sun available at our fingertips. So I'm not a person with a big ego to say I have to be the person that solves a problem, but I will help be part of your solution.
Definitely.
Yeah.
No, that is a great thing, because like going there, it's nice to be like, oh, this person who you need to go to, and be, instead of like having to find them on your own, being like, oh, I was recommended a chiropractor. I don't know a good chiropractor. So it's nice that you have that on hand, so you can say, oh, I'm gonna just sign you up with Jimmy down the road. He's gonna get you squared away.
Yeah.
It's also nice to see that it's a community healing process, because it's you know,
it takes a village.
It takes a village to raise a kid, and it's the same thing for healing. When you're trying to heal yourself, either mentally or physically, try to put those two words together.
That's one word now.
Wow.
Yeah, and sometimes there are cases or clients that need not just osteopathy, but they need osteo and massage, or they need osteo and physio. And it's really nice, because then if they do to go to one of our physiotherapists, I can see their notes and see exactly what they worked on, and then I can make my treatment complement that, or whatever, you know, whatever we need to do.
Work together.
Yeah, we worked together very well.
Awesome.
That's really nice to see.
Yeah.
Really, really good to see in the medicine world.
Yeah.
So that doesn't always happen. Like, I know there's been a lot of disconnect usually when it comes, especially like, oh, I had an x-ray here and then never got back to my primary physician. Or like, as an example, I had knee surgery and my surgeon didn't forward my notes to my knee surgery about my knee surgery to my primary care doctor. Even though I told him to, like, I was like, and they didn't. And he's like, oh, well, how'd that go? So it's really nice to see that, like, in the reactive world and in this, that you can share the notes and work together to just, like, say, have a team to build up to make people as best as they can be.
And just make the workload a little bit easier too. Because like you said, you can't solve all the problems in a day or in a year, but having that team-based exercise to work through the problem together and find resolution. What might not work with you might work with them.
Exactly.
So I really like that. I like how you guys bounce back off each other, and it's not just like, I need to solve all these problems. It's no, I need to solve these problems, and maybe Joe Blow from the block down under, he can help me with the other things.
I love it. So my next question is more about like how you enjoy staying active. I like to, I know for me, I found the joy with weightlifting, and that's what makes me excited to stay active in my life. What are something that made you find the joy to stay active in your adult life? It's way easier to be active and fun as a child, but it's a little more work when you're an adult. So how did you find the joy in your activity?
I mostly just enjoy feeling like I'm physically confident. Like, I really like my sense of self and my self-confidence really takes a dive when I started to notice, you know, I hit 30, which is still not that old.
No, we're not
like,
old.
The getting up off the floor started to become a 3-step process rather than I'm just getting up. You know, like that was my first clue of like, oh, we gotta get on this a little bit more. And so there's a bit of that, just the day-to-day function, but also just feeling strong that if I have to go pick up that heavy box, I know I can do it. You know, whatever it is in your day-to-day, I really want that physical competency, and to know I can get whatever job needs to be done, and I need it for my job too. My job is also very physical, and I don't want to be in pain at the end of the day or be exhausted. Like, when I'm done my workday, I still want to be able to enjoy the rest of my day. So those, I think, were probably my two main points of how I stay active and how I enjoy it.
And what are some activities that you enjoy the most?
Well, we mentioned cycling. We mentioned running, but I'm definitely more cycling now. I kind of go back and forth so that it doesn't get old. You know, I vary it up. I'm seeing a personal trainer right now, because doing regular just weightlifting at the gym, I find I struggle with motivation to get there. So I see a personal trainer once a week, and then she gives me a plan, and then she is on me if I don't do it, which I really enjoy.
That's the key.
And I just recognize that I need. So I really enjoy seeing her. And then I teach yoga. I teach teach 3 yoga classes a week, but I also teach other wellness classes for people who struggle with arthritis and stuff. So that also keeps me active because I'm moving and teaching. I might not be doing the exercise, but I'm definitely moving.
Oh yeah.
So,
it's not like you're just sitting there giving orders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
wow.
I think that's it.
I didn't know that. Girl, if I knew you were doing yoga classes, I'd be signing up.
Well, they are chair yoga, which is like, not that that's an easy class, but it's an accessible class for people who can't get on the floor. Who can't get on the floor. Yeah.
No, I like that. I like going back to the osteopath of just like finding little nooks and crannies to make everyone available, or like make all the fitness available to everyone.
Many of my clients go to the chair yoga class, or vice versa. My chair yoga participants will sometimes come to me if they're having issues, like for the one-on-one sessions. Yeah.
It's good to build those connections.
Yep.
Yeah, and kind of tying into that mental strain that you were talking about earlier. I just wanted to ask you about some of the challenges that you faced when you're starting into your fitness regime. Like Ali mentioned, it's a lot easier when you're a kid to just be like, I'm going to go on my bike. But now you're an adult. We have weather that when there's rainy days, when there's a little bit of down days, what are some challenges that you face? And also, what is some advice that you can give to just kind of perk yourself out of it and get up and do it?
For myself, I have to create systems where I kind of have to go. I don't give myself the choice. Because I either have like Allie depending on me to go, and if I don't go, she doesn't go, which sometimes we do give ourselves a little bit of grace, right? Because like we just had the Stanley Cup, which we were up till midnight, 1 o'clock watching.
And we also painted this whole house.
Painted the house. So like that was one day where it's like, okay, that's an okay day to give ourselves some 100%. Grace. But you know,
we're going tomorrow.
Right back. We're going tomorrow, and
you are still being active by painting. It might not be like as extraneous as what it is at the gym, but
I had this like great personal trainer who's kind of on me, just like I am for my clients, right? And setting myself a goal. So like for my cycling goal for the PEI tip to tip, it's like, okay, I gotta get the cycling done because otherwise I'm gonna miss out on this really great opportunity that I want to do, or I'm not gonna be able to enjoy it as much because I didn't do the proper training. So
it's good to have those long-term goals and something to work towards. I know I do better knowing like I have something coming up, and that way I have to put the work in, otherwise it's not going to go well. And I feel that's probably similar to you with your goal to bike tip to tip.
Yeah, and you've also had some milestones in the past too with your running. You've completed marathons and actually gotten some medals.
Half marathon. I won't claim a marathon yet, but that is a long-term goal, probably in later years, to do a full marathon. I think that'd be really awesome, especially in Disney.
Yes,
Disney marathon would be really cool.
Or there's like a step one where it's like 5K, 10K, half K. Or half marathon?
That's the goofy.
That's what it is.
Those are for that's crazy.
Wait.
You do it one day after another.
I'm sorry. Can we get into this like full on detail? What is a Disney marathon?
So there are races they do through Disney in Florida. So I don't know. I haven't checked a map of where it is, but you start at one point and then you run through the park, like the Disney
before
park.
It opens.
Oh, okay. I was like, I know how long the queues are. Just based off of like people. How do you run?
The park is not open.
Yeah. It's like early in the morning before the park opens, and like I've seen it a few people. It's like 5K for the first day, second day it's a 10K, half marathon, the full marathon.
Yeah, so that's the goofy medal you're talking about.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
So you have
because you have to be goofy to do it.
Yeah, really.
So you're basically doing a tri-marathon.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't do that one. I would just want to do either the half or the full because it is Florida as well. Let's make realistic goals, right?
Yep. All about them smart goals.
Yeah, smart goals. So I don't think that one would be realistic for me, but probably a marathon or half marathon. I haven't looked that deeply into it, so I'm more focused on my.
You just want to go Disney,
and I just want to go Disney.
Not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Talking about Allison and all of her activities. So one thing that I kind of want to know about is with doing the marathon and the running, you also mentioned about how weightlifting wasn't your thing, which is fine, but you actually came to a strongman training class with us.
I did.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that and your experiences with it?
I had a lot of fun with it actually.
Good.
It was definitely different. I had done weightlifting, just not in like a power strength component. Like I had taught a fitness class at Good Life, which included like barbells and like dumbbell, like weightlifting in it.
Power pump, wasn't it?
Body pump.
Body pump, that's what
At Good Life. But yeah, that's like lightweight.
Mhm.
So I've never really done heavy weightlifting. So this was my first experience with that. And it was a lot of fun. Everyone was really positive and nice, which I really appreciated. Kind of very similar to like the running community. Everyone's just really, really positive.
Yeah.
And encouraging when you're there. It was awkward at times because like, yeah, some of them using, like you guys said, it's built to be awkward,
Mhm.
right?
It's designed to be challenging.
It's designed to be very challenging, not just in the fact that you're picking something up heavy, but you're picking it up in something that's totally inefficient.
Yeah.
Like the widest bar. Like I know how to do a deadlift, but then they make you do like it with a weird like thick bar that you can't wrap your hands around. And I'm like, okay, it was hard enough before. And then
they make it even harder.
And then they get you to do it like that. So it was fun. It was nice to change it up. And that's the one thing I'm always trying to do is change it up. So that's why I really appreciate being able to go there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what would you say the activity you enjoyed most out of the ones you did? I already know which one you like more.
I mean, I did like the sandbags simply because they did require more of like an endurance thing, and that's what I had. Is I didn't really run out of breath because I was running at the time, and I'm looking around at everyone's huffing and puffing. I was like, let's do it again. So simply because I already had that endurance, I think I enjoyed that more. I did also enjoy the yoke and like pressing the yoke overhead.
That was
cool.
a really fun one.
Yeah.
Was there anything that you've done with strongman training that you're kind of like shocked at yourself for accomplishing? Like anything that you achieved that you're like, wow, I didn't think I could get that.
Yeah, there was the static hold where we just got like pick something up and hold it for, I don't know, it was like 10 seconds or something.
The fire, was it connected or was it one piece or two pieces?
It was one piece.
So frame hold.
Yeah, it was a frame hold. And they just kept piling the weights on. And I was like, I don't know if I can lift this. And then it did kind of leave the ground. And I was like, oh,
look at me go.
Okay. So, yeah, that's something I think would be fun to explore more in the future.
And with working so much with your hands, like I feel like you would have really good grip strength. And I think that maybe is something that would help you in your career as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Do you know how much weight you've lifted in strongman training session? Like what was the heaviest that you've lifted?
I actually can't remember because it was a few months ago.
So for the yoke press, I think it was 95.
Yeah, because that was just I put 2 plates on for the yoke press.
So 2 plates, so that was 125.
Oh, put that overhead.
Yeah. And then so frame, I think you were close to 300. Frame, with the pickup, like it was getting up there. Did you do a log?
No, I never got to do the log.
Okay, because we didn't have the lighter log at the time.
No.
Oh, that sucks.
I
think you would enjoy the log.
That's it. Yeah, well, we'll see. I'm very into my outdoor because it's summer. I'm doing more outdoorsy stuff right now, so it's not to say I'll never do strongman again. I'm enjoying the summer in PEI.
Yeah.
No,
so,
I respect
that. That's where it's at.
I'm kind of in the same groove, so I get you there.
Yeah.
I don't bike, I roller skate, but
it's still movement.
It's still movement. Just don't go downhill.
Brakes don't work very well.
No, I have a foot stopper, and I actually broke my foot stopper off the other day, and I ate shit.
I believe
this guy biking. He comes over to me. He's like, "You okay?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "You should watch yourself next time." Just keeps on going. Like he had the audacity to get mad at me.
Watch yourself.
Yeah, and then like he goes past Jacob, and he's like, "You need to watch your misses a bit better." I was like,
"Jeez,
bruh, you calm down now. You got 2 wheels. I got 4. All right." So yeah, we're kind of rounding to the end here. I was just curious. You talked about your bike. You talked about your running journey. You talked about your half marathons, what your goals were for in the future. You want to do the tip to tip. You also want to do a full marathon, which you can tell me if I'm wrong, but a full marathon is how many kilometers? 42K. Okay, I was thinking it was 50, but I was like, I don't know.
I would die at the first.
I think the furthest that I ran was a 15K.
Yeah, that's impressive.
That's the furthest that I ran, and it was for
like cross country.
Yeah, cross country. Yeah. We were doing that in the fall, so it wasn't too bad. But I cannot see myself doing it again.
If you found 15 not too bad, You could do a half.
I definitely think she could
once
do a half.
once you hit 15, you can do a half.
But like, to be fair, this was like middle school days.
Yeah,
this was at my peak when I had no sexual intercourse and I had so much rage hormones going in my body. It was just like I had nowhere else to put it. To go.
Oh, I was like, what is sex?
She was sexually frustrated, so
I feel like that would help you. Yeah. So basically, you can just kind of move out for a month.
Yeah, be celibate. There you go. Screw you, Jacob. Sorry about your luck.
And you'll run a marathon in no time.
Don't worry. I do a lot of walking, and I truly believe that you can absolutely do a half marathon. Like, and like, if you gave yourself a month to train, you would be able to do it because you already do. Maybe 2 months.
2 months.
Okay. she's
realistic goals.
But even
smart, remember?
Smart goals.
But I'm just thinking realistically, like how much you actually walk now and getting your 10,000 steps. There's one day you were messaging me, you got 20,000 steps, 30,000 steps.
Oh yeah.
So like, I'm not running it, but walking run, I think you could do it.
Yeah, if I can get my stamina up, because that's something that I find happens a lot faster now. Like, I don't know if it's the process of my breathing, but I try to keep consistent with my track training, breathing through your nose, out through your mouth. But there's just so many days where I just like have to stop to just break and take a breath.
Well, and I don't know if that's fully realistic. I don't think I've ever been able to run with breathing in through my nose and out through my mouth. If that's not working for you and you find you can't breathe, then just breathe through your mouth.
Yeah.
Your body knows what to do. Let it do what it's doing. Don't overthink it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Because I know Megan sometimes gets a little too focused on form. And so instead of like actually listening to what your body needs, because form is different for everyone. And we want to make sure you're doing stuff that's not going to hurt you. But like, also sometimes you hyper focus on, oh, my feet are this far apart. It's this exact motion when instead of like, just do it. You know, stop thinking too much.
And almost there is a part of a run, especially a long distance run, where you almost have to let your body relax and just let your legs do what they know how to do. Like if you're tense or holding anything, even your jaw, like you'll see some like long distance runners, their jaw is just like jiggling because like they've let all the muscles in their face relax. The arms should be pretty relaxed, the shoulders, like you shouldn't be holding any tension because that's just taking energy away from what you're trying to do.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That kind of ties into your yoga session.
You can meditate and run.
Yeah.
And it's so relaxing.
Really?
Oh yeah. That's how people do it. Like running is 80% mental.
Do you mind me asking, is that where runner's high comes from? It's being in that meditative awareness state?
It could be, but there's also, I know I've experienced it where you kind of hit a wall in your run and you're like, why am I doing this? This sucks. Your body feels heavy. Like you feel like every footfall is a stomp, and I don't know what it is. It's a wall. That's exactly what they call it. But if you kind of push past that and you keep going for a little bit, sometimes you get to this point where your body just it's a letting go sensation, and then all of a sudden your body's like free, and it feels like you could run for miles, and it is endorphins. It feels like you're high in your body, not a mind where you're like foggy and like stoned,
energized,
but you're like, I feel like I could go forever. Your legs just let go and they just fly. You feel like a deer going through a field. Like it's the coolest thing. Yeah.
Okay. I haven't reached that point yet.
Yeah.
The furthest that I've gotten is I felt like my brain was going to explode because of how much oxygen I was consuming. And I was like, I just need to stop and just like rest for a little bit because I felt like
that's the opposite of runner's high.
Felt like I was having a panic attack. Everything felt really, really heavy. I felt like my body wanted to stop.
Maybe that's
and
the
then
wall.
Like I think I like reached the wall. I'm like, I need to just halt here.
If you're getting lightheaded, then you want to take a break.
Please don't push your lightheaded.
But that could be like a breathing thing. It could be a hydration thing. Like if your brain is starting to get lightheaded, there's something we might have to adjust there.
Okay. Well, thank you for your insight on that. That's gonna really help my my running.
Because sometimes we forget that there's.
You know what? No, we're done. We're done. And thank you for joining our podcast.
Yeah, that's fair. We're gonna save. We've already had this discussion about.
And we were speaking earlier, just to like tie this in again. We were speaking earlier about how you're accident prone.
Yes.
When you're not drunk, and then you're worse when you are drunk. I feel like I'm accident prone when I'm exercising.
Yeah.
So that's why I like overcompensate for my movement because I'm so afraid of causing injury. I just don't want to risk it, but I still want to push myself to that point of experiencing it. So like there's really that fight in my mind that's like, I want to do this because I want to show myself I can do it.
Yeah.
But then there's also the fear of like, you've never broken a bone in your body. Why are you going to start now?
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. And unfortunately with like running, especially, like that's something, there's moments where you do have to kind of push through pain.
Oh yeah.
But you do learn just from, trial and error of like, what's pain that I can push through and what's pain that's like, I have to stop. That's a communication between your mind and your body that you have to have,
I had a yoga instructor and she gave a really, really good quote of, is it pain or is it discomfort? And I've been using that ever since I heard it. And I think that like kind of ties into what you're saying.
Yeah.
There's a point where it like feels like pain, but you know that your body can endure more. It's just a matter of
or it's gonna pass.
Yeah.
Or
just a matter of knowing your body and how far you can go.
Yeah.
So kind of our last question to kind of wrap this all up is, what advice do you have for people who are just getting into maybe working out, lifestyle, running as an example? What advice would you give to people who have been sitting on the couch for the last 4 years and now are like, let's get up and move? What advice do you have for those people?
That is probably the hardest stage, I think, of any fitness journey. Even like as like a runner, if you stop running for a bit, the hardest bit is getting back going again. So first and foremost, you got to find something you enjoy. Just because I like running doesn't mean everyone else is going to like running. So it has to be something you kind of enjoy, and you got to accept you're not going to enjoy it every day. But it has to be something to an extent you do enjoy, because if you hate every second of it, you've never found any joy in it, then that's not the activity for you, and it's never going to work. And then create some form of accountability.
Yeah.
Somehow. For me, it's having other people. For someone else, it could be that, to get up for a walk, they have a dog. So you got to go walk your dog. That could be your activity. It could be...
it's finding discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hard. And that just comes with time.
Yeah.
And
consistency too. And it's like going on the days you don't want to, and finding that motivation to be like, I don't want to go to the gym today, but I know I will feel better once I get there and I've done my workout.
And create the routine too, because once it's in your routine and your habits of your day to day, it's almost like the same as like making sure you stop for your meals during your day. Like that's how it ends up feeling. It's not a chore. It's just, this is now part of my scheduled day. Rather than being like, oh yeah, I got to go do that thing. It's just that routine.
Routine has definitely helped me a lot.
Yeah. And if you guys need any help with scheduling or making a routine, we actually do have a podcast episode about SMART goals and creating and building a routine that fits best for you. So if you guys are new to our channel, you can take a look over at the Strong Girl Shuffle podcast YouTube channel, and we actually have an episode just for you. I think this is a perfect segment to have a little water break. Thank you so much for letting us pick your brain. We also got to take a look at the bottom of the deck.
The tarot.
I'm kind of curious to see if it ties everything in, or
I was debating on looking, and I felt the urge to stop and wait, because it's like, I want to know, because I always look at the bottom of the deck.
It sounds to me like this card is tied to Allison, so I feel like the bottom card is kind of like the answer or the resolution to the top.
I hope it doesn't tell my secret.
Well, if it does, we'll just cut that out of the book.
And we're back. We all had a little water. Actually, I did not see Allison drink water.
I did.
Good.
Finally, someone else gets the call out.
I feel like I'm back in my frat house here.
Yeah. Drink.
Sorority house.
Chug. Gotta get your hydration up. Ready to go. All right. So now we're going to kind of go into the ending part of our a little episode we have going on here. I really want to thank Allison for having a good chit chat with us. Felt like we're just chit chatting with a friend, which is always good. And it was really good to get your insight and your information. Oh, we had a little guest pop up, Mr. Georgie. So really, thank you so much, Allison, for being our first guest. I'm sure you'll be coming back. And like I said, everyone already knows who you are, because I talk about you all the time. Like I said, only good things, always.
Good, yeah. Well, it's definitely been a lot of fun. I've been happy to be here.
I'm glad. Yeah, definitely. So now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about the bottom of the deck, which I really want to look. I've been waiting to look, and like multiple times throughout the episode. I know, Georgie, that's how I felt.
He's also waiting.
I'm waiting because the bottom of the deck is something not all tarot people use. It's something that I saw one time, and it really just it connected with me, and it's something I do in all of my readings. And it can be one of two things, and it really just depends. It could be a completely separate message, or it can be an answer to the first tarot.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna find out. Drum roll, please. Beautiful.
Sorry, Georgie.
I'm scared, Georgie.
The Seven of Swords.
Oh,
Which is actually another secret card.
Is it actually?
Yes.
Oh, today's all about secrets.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get Allison to describe the card.
So now we got a green background with shelves on the wall. There's 3 shelves and there's knives on the shelf. Obviously 7
the
of them.
swords.
That represents the swords, I assume. Mm-hmm. And there's a woman standing in front of the shelves, and she's picked one off and is gonna put it in her bag. And she looks kind of sad, or like a little either stoic, maybe a little sad. As she's putting this sword knife into her bag.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
I have no idea what that would mean. Is she gonna go murder somebody?
So, and this might be because like way I do tarot is I actually always, whenever I see a card that I know quite relevantly, I always look back to my original deck, which is the Wild Unknown. And this one is it's a secret card. It's basically this image of 6 swords above, and we have a little fox, and the sword is hidden underneath it. So he's taken a secret off because usually they're together. All of the swords are like stationary and seen, but they're taking one away and putting it away so no one else can see it.
Oh. Okay.
But I'm interested to see what the book says about it.
Could I take a quick little peek at that? Because it looks really cute. It kind of looks like she's stealing it. Mm-hmm. Like she's really nervous about getting caught. So
I got that vibe.
Kind of tying into what you said and what you originally mentioned. It kind of looks to me like she is a little bit sad. She feels guilty about having the secret, and she doesn't want anyone else to know that it's her knife. So maybe she was going out for a murder, and this was the weapon, and she was like taking it back so no one else knows. Maybe there's like a cool little story about it. And again, like the first tarot card today, guys, please, if you have any intuition on this card, I will be putting these decks on our Instagram the day after we release our episode. So if you guys want to give a nice little comment in the section below, or even on our Instagram channel, just tell us what you think this card could mean, or if it resonates with you. But yeah, I can definitely see that. It's like her a little bit upset, a little bit sad. She's trying to keep a secret. She doesn't want other people to know that it's her secret. So
I'm going to see what the book says.
7 of Swords. Was it upright or was it upside down?
I do not know.
Flip.
Upside down.
Okay. So 7 of Swords. Sticky fingers.
Okay.
The reverse 7 of Swords shows a tendency to give up rather than stand. It may feel unnatural to you to think like your opponent, to anticipate their next move. But this attitude will help you defend what is yours. Otherwise, you may surrender way too soon. This particularly applies for work. When a colleague tries to disempower you, it's important to stand your ground. As with the upright card, the reverse 7 of Swords can show legal problems in business dealings, so beware the unscrupulous people.
I don't like that card.
It's a nice word for the day, unscrupulous.
I wouldn't even know how to pronounce that. If I read it, I'm like, well.
I'm kind of proud that I actually read it right the first time.
Good job. Very good.
I had to like move it back because I was like, oh wait, I'm farsighted. Why is everything fuzzy? Yeah, she's reversed, baby.
Yeah. 2 to 3 times it was reversed.
Dang. Yeah. So I find it really funny that they related it to work and business, but maybe it could be like related to just general business or like dealings that you deal with on a regular basis. So when I think of business, you know, we have our podcast, and then I have my work, and I also have my personal life, but I consider my business to be my privacy. It's my business, don't get into it kind of thing.
Okay.
You know, like my relationship is quite private. I don't post many things on Facebook. I'll post a few things on my Instagram, but my Instagram's also private.
Yeah.
So I try to like keep certain things closed off from the public just because that's my stuff in my life that I don't really want people to have opinions on.
Yeah.
And this card kind of ties into that. It's like, I don't want to hear what you have to say about my secret because it's my secret, no one else's.
So I got a completely different perspective reading that,
Okay.
especially knowing Allison and what she's currently going through with your workforce. I see this as not giving up on the potential opportunity you talked about earlier.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That I think that's
so.
Yeah,
Ellie, do you think that it ties in with the first tarot card that we released, or do you think that it's a completely separate message?
I do think these are connected. I think it's just talking about, you know, sometimes it's good to keep secrets close until you're ready to bring them out. I think is what the root of this message is saying like, everyone's going through different things, different opportunities, and things happen in different time frames. And the time frame that some person needs to know is a different when someone else needs to know.
Yeah.
I think is what this is talking about. I get the feeling of time frames and connections, but waiting for the right time to strike almost.
Yeah, be patient. Don't rush into hasty decisions. Don't let your emotions make your decisions for you.
Absolutely.
All right. I think that was a good little segue. Thank you very much for your read. Thank you
Yes.
very much for your descriptions. And thank you all for watching. This has been an incredible episode.
I hope you enjoyed our first interview.
Yeah. I know we've like thanked you 1,000 times, but I'm just going to thank you again on behalf.
Keep giving like
Give
compliments.
Shout out to Allison for joining us on our first ever guest podcast. This has been incredible. And honestly, your journey is enlightening. It's kind of making me want to like hit you up for that cycling class session. I kind of want to go cycling now.
You should. It'll be fun.
Man, I haven't gone cycling since Good Life.
Oh yeah.
And the only reason why I stopped was because
I
the
have
bingo
one free
card.
guest pass. I get a free guest pass one a month.
All right, not for you guys. For me.
But yeah, make sure to book it in time.
Yeah.
So Allison, before we start doing our dirty plugs, where can our viewers find you?
They can find me on reactivehealth.com and online booking there, or if you're on the island, you want to book a session, or if you want to just find me on Instagram, my tag is allison.pei osteopath.
And what does your Instagram entail?
So it tells a little bit about me, but I do some informational videos on some exercises I commonly give for common injuries that I see. So I'll talk a little bit in a post about the injury, and then I'll do a video about the exercises I typically give.
Nice. I like that. A little bit of information for the research aspect of it, and then just like promotional content to show that it actually works.
Yeah.
All the blue.
Yeah.
All the blue.
If you want to see that color we were talking about, you gotta check out our Instagram.
That's right. Actually, it's such a pretty blue, and it's kind of, it blends in with this, but you can't really see it with the light, so you might just have to check out our channel. Speaking of channels, we also got a few more plug-ins today. I think we might as well plug in the podcast.
I think so. If you're here, better like, subscribe,
all that fun jazz. And if you want to share this episode, I know that we never really discussed that, but if you want to share this episode with somebody that you think might need to have this message, or even do a tarot reading based off of these tarot cards, let us know. We'll link you up. We'll set it up.
Yeah.
I think that could be fun, doing like a live podcast, like tarot pull.
Quite honestly, I've thought about like starting a TikTok about tarot, because I love me some tarot TikTok.
Babe.
Oh.
Let us know what you guys think. But if you guys want to let us know, you need to subscribe, you need to like, you need to comment our Strong Girl Shuffle podcast at youtube.com, or you can find us on Instagram and TikTok as SG Shuffle Podcast. It's a little tricky, we messed it up the beginning.
There's no huffle.
First 14 episodes.
So this is our 14th. So we made it to 13. Our 14th the charm.
14th time the charm, yeah. But if you want to follow us on our personal channels where we kind of get into our own side lives, where can we find you, Allie?
So you can find me at Allie_strongwoman to keep up to date with all of my strongman competitions. I have one next week. We don't want to talk about it. I'm going to throw up, but we're going to just do our best.
Oh, we're going to talk about it, but that's another episode for another day.
We'll talk about it after the fact.
Absolutely. And if you guys want to follow me, you can follow me on my Instagram channel at Handora_readings, where I do a lot of just fun little videos just to keep my creative side running. But I also do palm readings and aura analysis. So if you guys are interested in that, that's where I'm at.
I want an aura analysis.
Ooh, next episode.
Yeah.
She hasn't done mine yet either.
No, I have not.
We'll
I
have
haven't
to
even
make it a special one.
I'll be honest, I haven't even discussed that in the podcast.
No.
But one of my old classmates, they contacted me and they asked me to do an aura analysis for them. And I was just like, oh my God, I haven't done that in ages.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely a segment for another day. But we're definitely going to keep this one short, folks, because we got
this one's not about us.
No.
It's about Allison.
That's right. And we got some snackies waiting for us.
Yeah.
So we hope that you guys enjoyed, and please just come again.
Yes, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate all the support you have been giving us, and we'll have the audio. Like, it's still there. We have not forgotten. You call us out. Call us out. That works.
Send comments over to at Allie Strongwoman.
Yes. All
in the comment section. Just spam her. Where's the Spotify account?
Yes.
Hold her accountable, folks. All right. No, I'm kidding.
No, I love it.
All right. This is getting a little bit more chaotic than I expected. Bye.